Hello, students. So, in the previous class, we have studied about the joints. We were talking about that what are joints and what are the things which is basically responsible for the joint. And we studied that how the two bones when they meet together, they at the place where they meet together, that place is known as a joint. As well as we came to know that these two bones, when they combine together, then they combine the place where tissue is present at that point, and that tissue's role is to connect the two bones together properly. So it helps in connecting the two bones together, and that is known as ligaments. So we can say that ligament help in connecting the bone which is formed at the joint. As well as the ligament, it is elastic in nature, so it will help in stretching the body easily. Okay, then a cartilage is also present there. That cartilage, it provide smoothness to the bone so that a bone can easily move over the another bone. Okay, then we came to know that the oily liquid is also there, which help in lubricating, which help in giving the smoothness to the joints of our bone. Then hinge joint. So hinge joint is a joint, this name it came from the hinge of the door. So it's a kind of a joint which can occur only which can occur in that places where the movement of the bone is allowed, but only in one direction. Okay, either in the forward or in that of the backward. So see student, you can see the ankle or that of the knee, you can bend your knee to this portion, and after that you can again bend your knee up to here itself. Okay, yeah, or you can say this one is straight one, afterward you can bend it like this, so it can go to this side or to the this side, so it can move only in this direction. Okay, but is it possible to move this knee to this direction itself? No. Okay, so what does that mean? That we can move our some of the bone only in one direction. You can see the elbow, you can move your elbow here or here. Is it possible to move your bend up to here? No. So movement in only one direction, that occur in the hinge joint. Now hinge joint is also having a knob, and uh, you can see here student, here a knob is there and a cup is there. Okay, this knob and cup, this knob is the upper end of that bone, upper part of the bone, and this is the lower part of the bone. So it is the end of the upper part, okay, where the upper part ends, and this one is the first part or the initial part of the lower end. Okay, so this knob will placed or will fit into the cup of this lower arm. Okay, so by this hinge joint is there, in which a knob is there and a cup is there, which are joined together. Okay, so this is the hinge joint we studied. You can see here in the finger also hinge joint is there. You can move your finger only in one direction. You can fold it or you can spread your finger. So by folding or spreading, if you can move your finger only in one direction, you cannot move to your finger to this direction, okay, to the upward direction. Only in the downward direction movement can occur. Okay, so when there is a one movement is there, that kind of joint is known as the hinge joint. Now we will go to the another kind of a joint, and that joint is known as a ball and socket joint. So, students, in the ball and the socket joint, one end of the bone has a round shape like a ball, and which fit into a socket, that is a kind of a hollow space in the other bone. You can see here, this is a ball like a structure, and it is fixed in this socket like a structure. So that kind of a joint in which one end, it is a round shape, and since it is a round shape, so it appears like a ball, so we can say that its shape is like a ball, and this ball shape end of the bone, it fit into a another type of a bone, which is actually hollow. It's supposed to be hollow, and which is this much able, so that the ball can be placed, can be fit into that socket. Okay, now see, the ball type end of one bone can turn freely in the socket of the other bone. So, in the ball and socket joint, the bone can be turned in any direction. You can see here, this is a ball kind of a structure. So, ball is what means in this socket, it can be freely moved in any of the direction. Okay, it can move to this side also, it can move to this side also. Okay, so in such kind of joints, in which a ball and a socket is there, the ball, it can turn freely. Okay, it can move freely in the socket, so we can say that the ball and that of the socket joint, the bones, they can be turned in any direction. So when we say it can be turned in any direction, it means it can be turned either in the forward or in the backward. And not only this, to that of the forward or backward, but side to side, and even you can rotate it properly. Okay, so it's a ball shape, and due to its ball shape, it can be rotated to any direction. This ball and socket joint, when we talk here, you can see here, student, is a kind of a ball is there and a socket is there, and it is fixed in this ball and socket structure. You can see here, if suppose you are moving this shaft, moving it, then this ball will easily can be moved, so it can be rotated. So as it can be rotated, so it can be moved in a forward, backward, sidewise, any direction. Now this ball and socket joint, it is mainly present in the two places, and that is the, it is basically present in the two places, and that is the shoulder joint. You can see here a shoulder joint is there, so it is present in the shoulder joint as well as in the hip joint. I can show you the hip joint also. See here, student, this is the hip joint. So it is basically present at the two portion of our body, that is the shoulder joint and the hip joint. Remember when we were talking about the that of the shoulder bone and that of the pelvic bone, then we studied that there are the girdles present at the both of the side of the pelvic bone, and these two girdles, they are having the two bones, two leg bones, which are present either side of the both of the side of that pelvic bone. So this ball and socket joint, it is present in the shoulder joint and that of the hip joint. Now see, student, A ball and a socket joint, because of its structure, it allows much more movement of a bone than that of the hinge joint. So you see, in the hinge joint only one kind of a direction was possible, either in the backward or in that of the forward. But when we talk in that of the ball and socket joint, you can see that it can be moved in any of the direction. So such kind of a movement of the bone which allow it to move it properly. So we can say that this joint, this ball and socket joint, it allow more movement of a bone than that of the hinge joint. The ball and the socket joint, it not only it allow the movement, but it also allow the maximum variety of a movement as compared to all other joints in the human body. So if we compare with the hinge joint, it shows a good movement, as well as if you compare this ball and socket joint with the other joints also, then also you will find that this ball and socket joint is much more good, or it allow a maximum movement as compared to any of the other type of a joint which is present in our human body. So now we will see the two type of a joint, this ball and a socket joint, which is present in our hip and that of the shoulder. So you see here, student, this is the shoulder joint. So if you see in that of the shoulder, so basically you see, students, that if we stand up and we start moving our arm around at our shoulder, that we used to do, you see that while warming up, you have seen the athlete also, they used to rotate their shoulder, they used to move their arms in at our shoulder. So if we start rotating, start moving our arm around at the shoulder, we will find that we can move it forward as well as we can move it backward. Not only this, we can move it side to side, and also if we want, we can rotate that bone very easily. Okay, so if we want to move the shoulder bone, we can move it at any of the direction, either in that of the forward or in the backward or the side. Okay, so basically it is because of the ball and the socket joint. Okay, so ball and socket joint is what it allow the proper movement, it allow all over the movement of the bone. Now, head of the upper arm, if you see here, this is the head of the upper arm. This is the upper arm and this is the head of that upper arm. So head of the upper arm bone is a round, and it is round, so it behave like a ball. Okay? If you compare this ball and socket joint, how we will come to know that this is a ball and socket joint? So if you see the upper arm of that of the hand, that of the arm is basically it is round. So if it is a round in shape, we will consider it as a ball. Okay, while the shoulder blade, this is the shoulder blade, this is the shoulder blade, you know, it's a roughly triangular shape. So the shoulder blade bone, it is having a socket. You can see with the blue color it is mentioned properly. This shoulder blade is having a blue color socket in it, and at the shoulder, a ball on the top end of the upper arm fit into the socket in the shoulder blade bone to form a ball and socket joint. So here this bone is having a ball like a structure, this bone is having a socket like a structure. So this bone will this ball shaped bone will fix into the socket of that of the shoulder blade, and thus it form a ball and a socket joint. Okay, now see here, it is a ball and a socket joint. Now this ball shaped end of the upper arm of the bone, you can see we can rotate it freely in the socket of the shoulder blade so that the arm can move in all the direction. Okay, so it basically act as a ball and a socket joint, due to which we are able to move our hand properly. Now we will see this hip bone. You see here, this is the hip bone where this joint is present. I can show you here itself in this one. So you see here, this is a kind of a joint which is present in our hip. So if we stand up and we will, if suppose we want to move our leg, okay, so if we want to move our leg around at our hip, then we will find that we can move our hip in the forward direction as well as in the backward direction, and not only there, from the side to side, and we can, if we want, we can rotate our legs around that hip portion. Okay, so basically it is also because of the ball and this socket joint. So this ball and a socket joint, it is present at the hip joint. So the ball, it is again like that, upper arm, this is the upper end of the thigh bone. This is the thigh bone and this is the upper end. Okay, this one is the upper arm of the thigh bone. This upper upper end of the thigh bone, it is a round shape structure, and we can say it is a ball. Okay, while the hip bone, where this legs or this thigh bone is attached, it is having a hollow space. That hollow space is also known as a socket. Okay, so the upper end of the thigh bone is having a ball like a structure, whereas the hip bone is having a socket like a structure, and this upper end of the thigh bone of ball like a structure fix or get fits into the socket of the hip bone and forms a ball and a socket joint. So at our hip, the ball on the top end of the thigh bone fit into the socket and forms this joint. Okay, now see here, this ball of this upper end of the bone of thigh bone, it can be rotated freely in the socket of that of the hip bone, and that's why we can say that this ball and a socket joint, it allows our leg to move in all the direction. Okay, so this is a hip bone and that of the shoulder bone, in which the ball and a socket type of a joint is present in it, which makes the bone to move forward, backward, sideways, as well as rotate our bones properly at our joints. Now we will talk about another kind of a joint, and that is the pivot joint. So in a pivot joint, a cylindrical bone it turns a ring type bone. Okay, and the pivot joint allows rotation around an axis. So basically, a cylindrical rod is there. We can understand it like that. This is a cylindrical rod like a structure. So this cylindrical bone turns in a ring type bone. This is the ring type bone is there. Okay, and the here in this joint it will only allow the rotation, but that rotation occur at its axis. So pivot joint, we can say it basically exists between our skull and that of the top vertebrata of backbone. So it is present in that of the skull here and the vertebrata of the backbone. Now, the top vertebrata of our backbone is a part of our neck. So we usually say that pivot joint, it exists between our skull and that of the neck. Okay, so we can say here that this pivot joint it present between the skull and that of the neck portion of our body. Okay, so the we can say that this pivot joint is basically present in the vertebrata of our backbone, but this vertebrata basically exists at the part of our neck. That's why we are using that pivot joint mainly exists between our skull and that of the neck. Okay, so it is a joint which exists between our head and our neck. So you see here student, the pivot joint which is present between the skull and that of the neck, it allow our head to bend up. We are let me show you. This is the head neck pivot joint. This is the pivot joint. You can see here skull is there and neck. This is the neck portion from where the vertebrata started. So this is the portion where the pivot joint is present. So this is a joint which is exists between the head and that of the neck portion of our body. This is the pivot joint. See student, this is what I was talking about in ball and socket joint. This is a kind of a ball and this is a socket. Now see here, when we talk about the pivot joint, in pivot joint, if suppose you want to turn your neck, then what can you do? Either you can move your neck at upward direction or in the downward direction, or you can move your neck side to that of the side. So we can say that pivot joint, it connect our head to the neck. Another point is there that this pivot joint, it occurs in that of the head as well as that of the neck, as well as it may also occur in the lower arm near that of the elbow. Okay, so pivot joint, it allow our head, it allow us to move our body only at the upward or backward or side to side. Okay, so by this discussion we come to know that pivot joint is a joint which exists in our skull, between our skull and neck, and it help in moving our neck in the upward, downward and side by side movement. Now another thing is there in case of a pivot joint, that this pivot joint, it basically occurs at the, it also occur at that of the hand, arms, lower arm. So a forearm, that we call a forearm. So we know that the upper arm and that of the lower arm. So upper arm is having only one bone, while that of the lower arm is having two bones with it. That is, radius is there and ulna is there in that of the forearm. So in forearm, the pivot joint is there, and that pivot joint, it makes this radius and ulna bone to twist around each other. Okay, so this radius and ulna, they twist around each other, and the pivot joint in the forearm, it make us turn our forearm to hold the palm of our hand up or down. So basically its function is the movement of our palm of our hand, and this is present in the radius and ulna of the forearm of our hand. So pivot joint, it mainly exists between the skull and the neck, as well as it exists in between the radius ulna of our forearm. So this is the pivot joint. Now we will see the last joint, and that is the fixed joint. Fixed joint. So when we talk about the fixed joint, students, you see in some of the joint, the bones are joined together, and due to which we can move the bones very easily. But you see, there are some of the joints are also there in which the bones are held very tightly, so that they cannot move at all. And that kind of a joint, you can understand by the name itself, it is said fixed. And fixed it what? Fixed means the thing which we cannot change. Okay, so the bones which are held very tightly with each other, and which makes the other bone to not to move at all, that kind of a joint is known as a fixed joint. Okay, so in fixed joint, the bones, they are held very firmly together by the help of a strong fiber. So here basically strong fibers are present. Okay, and the function of this joint is, the function of this fixed joint is it provides strength. Okay, because the two bones, they are joined together with the help of this fixed joint. So it provide strength, it provide support to that of the support to that of the body. Also it help in protecting the delicate organ. Example, a very good example is your brain. So you can see this fixed joint in your skull. Okay, these are the joint, these things are showing that bones are joined together, and this joint is called as a fixed joint. So are you able to move your head from here? No, we cannot move it. We can move our skull at the neck portion only, but we cannot move our skull from this portion. So such kind of a joint, which are also known as immovable joint. Immovable, it means the joint which cannot be moved easily, that is the immovable joint. Okay, so this is a fixed joint which cannot be moved, which cannot be changed, which are held very tightly together, and they cannot be moved at all. Such joint is known as a fixed joint. And since these joints are fixed together, basically it is attached with each other with the help of a strong fiber, which make it the two bones to held firmly, be together firmly, and thus we can say that the fixed joints is also act as a immovable joints, okay, which cannot be moved properly. Here the function, it is very important, and that is the function is that this fixed joint, it provides strength, it provides support to the body, as well as these fixed joint are basically present at such places where the delicate organs are there. So it also help in protecting the delicate organ like that of the brain, and help it to protecting that organ from any kind of a damage.